The system over there is just a little different. You don't really play for your high school or college. You play for your club, which is necessarily different. And I would say I started with 14 playing against grown men, which probably helped me a lot in my development. Just that experience of maybe someone who isn't as skilled, but who's 10 years older. And you get a bump here or there, and it just helps you a lot to be more physical and improve your game. And that's kind of how the whole thing got rolling. But I would say for a lot of Europeans at like a young age, you always play with older guys. And I feel like that's super valuable. And that's something you don't really have here in the States as well, because you kind of stay with your age group, and then you kind of then tend to like dominate very fast. You're the best player in your team. You're the best here. So you kind of get that superstar feeling faster. And over there, you might be the superstar at your age, but you get pulled with the older guys, and all of a sudden you're a role guy. You have to prove yourself again.
How are you balancing school and playing on like a pro club team? I mean, 'cause that's a pretty big deal. You're 14 years old. You're playing for Bayern Munich. I mean, even if it's the number 2 team, still to be wearing those colors is pretty crazy. So how do you balance those two things?
It was very challenging, I will have to say. And I had a lot of support from my family. My parents did an amazing job. It was cooking me, meal prepping, picking me up late from practice, supported me with academics. They did an amazing job. And I probably could have not done it without them, because you wake up at 7, you go to school sometimes till 3. I had to take the train over an hour to practice, hour and a half sometimes, because the club you're playing for might not be right by your high school. So you take the train, you practice, you won't really get back until 10, and then you still have to study. It was tough, but I'm glad I could get it done, and yeah.
Now you're here. What made you want to make the jump to college basketball in the United States?
So for me, it was always important just to get an education while playing. Once you really make that jump to like the pro leagues over there, it's almost impossible to study at the same time, because the pro team doesn't really care about your exams or anything, because you're hired, you're full employee. So I always kind of want to get my education. Also got pushed kind of into that direction from my parents, and that life experience of going to a different country and experiencing things.
You've had a lot of experience for someone your age.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the hardest thing you've had to deal with so far on your athletic journey was?
I think coming over to the States was very hard for me. Like my first few weeks and then my whole first year, just getting adjusted. It was kind of tough, just because everything is so different, so far away from home. And then also kind of that challenge of moving every year and getting to meet new people. I'm super blessed and lucky to have that opportunity to travel every year and meet new people. But it can be kind of challenging too, that after every year you kind of have to pack your bags and meet 20 new people and you don't know a single person. So that has been kind of challenging over my career. Those are things, yeah.
But now you're in a pretty great home. Opportunity to play for a coach that's won a lot of games, and then kind of dealt with injury last year.
Mm-hmm.
I have to imagine that was pretty frustrating, because things that started off well and then unfortunately ended earlier than you would have liked it to out there.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I mean, I had great plans to have a great season in Chattanooga, and then unfortunately got hurt and couldn't finish out the season due to medical reasons. But it kind of gave me a different perspective on the sport as well, just seeing it from like the outside, just being more grateful to be out there now and practicing again and playing, kind of having that joy really again of being out there.
What do you think the number one way you'd say you became a better basketball player during the time off was?
During your time off, I would say just really appreciate it. You know, as like a basketball player, there's these mornings or these practices where you just like don't feel like doing anything. I feel like everyone's gone through it, but like even those moments be like, yeah, like last year I had to sit out and even though I didn't go through those moments, I also didn't get to enjoy the highs of a game or the emotions. So I would say that part, just really appreciating it.
Yeah, I think that there is a gratitude sometimes that comes from not being able to experience something. For people who haven't seen you play, which is probably the majority of Kansas City fans at this point, how would you describe your game?
I would say I'm like a super physical player. I'm a great team player. I'm a good shooter. I move very well without the ball, and I just get everything I can.
You have a good shot. That's one of the things that I think that people are going to get to experience this year. I was able to get a quick look at that in practice yesterday. I think that ball looks pretty good coming off your hands. And who's an NBA player that you look at that you most like to emulate or compare your game to?
I don't really have an NBA player I like to focus my game after. To be honest, I don't really watch the NBA like that. I'm still kind of I watch like the European basketball side of it.
Who are some German guys then that you like to compare your game to? 'Cause there's some Germany's got a good national team right now.
There's a lot of great German guys. I mean, I would say I take little parts from a lot of players. I would say shooting from Tristan da Silva. But kind of going back to what I said earlier, I would kind of model my game after like Vladimir Lucic. He's a Serbian player. He was a EuroLeague all first team. He's kind of a guy I kind of looked up to, been in practice with.
Is there any advice he's given you that really stuck with you as you were kind of growing through your game?
It was kind of just to not be afraid. I mean, I was practicing with the pros at like 16, and it's tough. I mean, you have really grown men you're practicing with, and they're just individually and physically so much better. He was like, just don't be afraid, go out there and show what you can do.
What's your favorite moment of college basketball so far you've experienced firsthand?
I would say it had to be my dunk against Weber State at Eastern Washington. So the next day, one of our teammates, he sends in the video in the group chat, and it's me on SportsCenter. And at the time, I didn't really know what SportsCenter was. I was like, is that good? And they're all like, yeah, this is like a big deal. And that was just probably the most adrenaline I felt in my college basketball career, just having a dunk to get us the lead back. 4 minutes left, it was 1 against 2. Jim went nuts. That was probably my favorite moment.
That's awesome to be able to make so you made the top 10.
Yes.
What advice have you given to the younger European players on the team that haven't experienced college basketball as much yet, but are now making the same jump this year to Kansas City that you made a few years back?
I don't think I necessarily have to give a bunch of advice, kind of because you said they already been in America, but kind of not really getting down on themselves. Like one bad practice or one missed shot is not really going to influence the rest of their career or the rest of the season, how all of it goes. Just be super confident, not be afraid, and just try to make the right play. Sometimes it's what the coaches say is to not show them what you can't do. So not trying to do, just be who you are. Just not try to do things you're not really good at and try to, I need to shoot this shot to show what I can. Just do who they are and just be confident.
Last thing I got for you is when you leave Kansas City, what do you want your legacy to be as a Roo?
I want to make the tournament. That's been the big goal. I won the regular season, never made March Madness. That's the one thing. Even from overseas, you see it on TV, you see it on Instagram, you see the highlights, and I think that's just a feeling that's incredible and you can't describe unless you experience it. And I will be one of the guys that brought Kansas City basketball to March Madness.